Hey, is this on? Can you hear me? How's it sound? All right, today, this is a glimpse into my house. We've lived here for 20 years now, and it's time to remodel our master bedroom. Over the years, we've done some additional remodels and additions on the home, leaving this door right here going to nowhere. As we open it up, you can see that we're looking at the backside of a wall. Wires, 2x4s, and the backside of drywall. We also have a window over here that goes now to a chase where we have some HVAC run through. More wires, 2x4s, the backside of drywall. And we have a doorway over here that's uncased. And so what we're going to do is put in a coffered ceiling. A coffered ceiling is a very intricate wood ceiling. We're going to do that to enhance the beauty. And I know it's kind of sad because we already have a nice set of quadruple application crown molding on the ceiling. We're going to be demoing all that out. We're going to demo out this window. We're going to demo out this door. We're going to remove all the baseboards and casings in the room, tear out the carpet, and put in this coffered ceiling with new additional lighting that is really going to enhance the lightness of this room. Another unique thing about our room is we've done an addition on the back of our home, which has kind of left our master bedroom in the middle of the home without any natural daylight. So along this wall right here, we're going to create 3 faux windows that are backlit that'll have a nice warm glow that will add a nice feature to this wall to kind of simulate natural daylight. All right, this is the set of plans that we're going to be working off of. I just hand sketched this out. These are the 3 different windows that I talked about. And these square boxes that I've drawn here are the different coffers that the ceiling will have. Each one of these little round circles with 4 lines coming out of them in a square box represent a recessed lighting. This is a quadruple application crown molding. Layer number 1 is a sub crown, which is an inverted baseboard. So it's a baseboard upside down. Layer number 2 is a 7-inch piece of crown molding. Layer number 3 is actually just the drywalled ceiling. And then application number 4 is this little plant-on molding. So unfortunately, we're going to have to remove all of these applications to accommodate this new coffered ceiling. So isn't that some satisfying destruction? All right. We have finished the demolition portion of this project. All the crown molding and baseboards and casings have been removed. We removed the old doorway, the old casing around the window. And as you can see here, we've got a new wall framed up with those 3 windows that we were talking about. Our next step in this process is to frame the trade ceiling. So you can see that we've got red lines going all the way around the room and a grid work of red lines on the ceiling that we will now begin to frame on. We have completed the electrical work. We ended up pulling 600 feet of wire to complete the various wiring requirements of the room. So we've got can lights all the way around the perimeter. We've got some additional can lighting or recessed lighting in the corners. We've got in the upper tier, we've got more additional can lighting and a fan bracket. The bed's going to sit right here in the room. And so on either side of the bed, we have electrical to control the lighting and a plug to plug in a phone or a lamp, alarm clock. Right now we're getting ready to start throwing the drywall. So we're going to strategically plan where the coffered ceiling is going to be and place the seams behind the beamwork so that we don't have any additional taping. we're gonna show you how to repair a hole. We're gonna eliminate this and cover it with some drywall. The easiest way, a lot of times guys will try to mark out a hole and then cut it and then measure that hole and then go cut a piece to try to fit it into it. The easiest thing is just cut yourself a random square. I've already located the middle of the stud on that side, and then I just trace around my piece quick, and then I'm ready to cut it out. You can use a multi-tool like this or a roto zip if you don't have either of these tools, and maybe we'll show you how you do it if you don't have those, because most people aren't going to have those. Just a standard utility knife. I'm just gonna press in. Score it lightly initially, and drag it in. It takes, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, some pretty good pressure to get through it. Then it pops out. This drill right here is a special drill made for drywall. It's got a little stopping mechanism, so it will just drive the screws flush. That's really nice. But there again, you probably don't have one of those, but you have a regular drill. So the same thing, you just screw it and you just carefully stop when you're flush with that surface without breaking through. Now, one other consideration, whenever you have another stud where we miss the side of it, you get the board that's loose. So what you want to do is always pin it tight, then you're not going to get any cracking that'll occur. So you'll always pin the old tight to the stud. Now we're going to take our piece that we just traced around, and it'll just fit right in there. Now to finish it off, anytime you have loose paper, you could get a bubble that'll appear through your paint job. So you just take a sharp utility knife, which I rarely have. Oh, here we go, here's a good one. And you just cut back the paper. Anything that's loose, if you remove it, you're better off. The drywall's finished. We are now going to begin to put the coffered ceiling into place. The coffered ceiling has several different levels. The first level is building the structure. So we're going to go through and put the big material, the base, the structure. So if you'll look at the ceiling right here, we have chalked out several lines that create the grid pattern of where we're going to place the wood. We have the lower tier, and then up in the upper section, we have the upper tier. As you can see, we have now completed these beams. So we had nailed the board to the chalk line that we had snapped out across the ceiling. Then we did the 2 sides, and then we put some ladder blocking in between the 2 sides so that then we could attach this lower piece and create this square corner. We wanted to leave this because it allows us to add a really pretty piece of decorative molding in there. Then we've done an additional piece here on the bottom that creates another corner where we will then add another decorative piece of molding. And then to finish off up here between the beam and the ceiling, we'll be adding a piece of crown molding. And at the bottom of the coffer and the wall, we'll also be adding an additional crown molding here. So at the end of the day, the ceiling application is going to begin about this level and go up and span almost 18 inches. Okay, this is one of the coffers right here to the left of me. This has no crown molding. This one right here to the right, we've put the crown molding in. So we're going to begin to cut and install all the crown molding in the coffers. So we got a guy out on the saw doing that. While he's cutting those, we're going to begin to work on these windows over here. Right now, they don't look much like windows. We're going to cut some drywall panels and fill in the backside of this in each window. Then we're going to jam around each window opening. Then we're going to build a window frame and a window, install them, and then we're going to finish them off with an application of molding like this. are going to be successful today. We're going to wrap this ceiling and wall up. In this upper section, we've got the crown molding and this cove molding all in place. So now coming down here, we still have molding to put in this area. And then we've got a cove molding in here, panel molding, cove molding. And then out here, we've got a panel molding that will go around each of these. It's been a big day. We finished all of the different moldings. Let's take a look at them. So we have 13 applications of molding from top to bottom. Over here, we've finished the window boxes. The only thing left to do here is to actually build the little window frame itself with its little cross members. We've got the wiring in place, and then we'll have LED lighting that will illuminate that through the back, give it a nice soft glow. We've got the first coat on all of our drywall patches for all the holes that we had to do for the electrical work. We've got all the holes spackled and sanded, and we're now ready to prime. Today is Friday. We've been working on this project now for 1 week, and we're nearing completion. All of the drywall work is all done. Everything's primed. The coppered ceilings are all painted, and now we're going to paint the window walls. So you can see we've masked the coppered ceiling to protect it from the overspray of the paint. We've selected a beautiful blue paint. Right here we have a sample of it. So this is going to be the wall color, and this is going to be the ceilings. So we've finished painting the ceilings. We've finished painting the accent wall with the faux windows. We are now going to begin to paint the walls. As you can see, we've taped off the ceiling 4 feet out. We've taped the baseboards off and the doors and the casings off. That's going to protect those items from overspray. We're going to go through and put a first coat of paint on. The only areas that I'm going to back roll are the areas where I've done a lot of repair to try to rebuild some of that stipple that is already there in the previous paint coat. Anywhere you've done patching, it's super smooth. And so we'll try to rebuild some stippling. And then we'll go through, side light the walls, make sure we don't have any additional blemishes. Then we'll put a final top coat of paint on and back roll the entire thing. We got 2 coats of paint on the wall. Everything's been back rolled. And now we're ready for the unveiling of the paint job. This is probably the most exciting part. We got this finished up. Well, mostly. If it's like every project in my life, I've got some final paint touch up. I'll probably leave for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years. And then I won't be able to find the paint. If I do, it'll be dried up and then I'll have to repaint, but that's just kind of the way I roll. We finished all the coppered ceiling. As you can see, it turned out very beautifully. We also finished these faux lights that take place or replace the windows that were once upon a time here. The kids have really enjoyed these because they like to do all the different effects that they can do. They just think this is the coolest thing. Changing them to all the different colors. We ended up with 20 switches, which some people have given me a lot of grief over, but it's just wonderful to walk in your room and depending on how much lighting you're wanting, you know, if you just want some ambient lighting, or if you'd like, you know, just a little bit of lighting or a lot, we just have a lot of options. The switches are far enough apart to accommodate a king-size bed, and it's nice because my wife and I can control all of the lighting right from our sides of the bed. You notice these plugs are set up high, so when we get our nightstands, you can plug your phone or your lamp or whatever in without trying to dig behind the piece of furniture. That's always been a frustration in life. I think overall this has just turned out beautifully. I'm gonna have to say that this is seriously not bad.